from a $4 million dress to a $200 million ultra-luxurious complex. These are the 17 richest actresses in the world and their opulent lifestyles. For Sofia Vergara, being the star of a hit TV show like Modern Family is usually enough to launch your career into the stratosphere. Sofia Vergara, however, took it to the next level. Unlike her peers, she didn't rush to star in every production that came her way. Instead, she chose the right roles at the right price. Today, although her annual income barely exceeds $22 million, Vergara can boast a personal net worth of $130 million. She managed to multiply her $1 million per episode from Modern Family with a substantial investment portfolio valued at over $70 million. Plus, Vergara earned more than $17 million from her Instagram account, where she has over 30 million followers. That's what I call monetizing your followers. On top of that, Vergara earned over $17 million from her Instagram account, where she has more than 30 million followers. That's what I call monetizing your followers. As you can imagine, the star doesn't live in a tiny, cockroach-infested apartment. Instead, she enjoys the solitude of a luxurious 12,100 square meter house in Atlantico, Colombia. The property cost her around $22 million and features 9 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, a game room, a nightclub, and many other amenities that Sofia definitely deserves. The Modern Family star also has a good eye for cars. Her garage is packed with top brands like Range Rover Sport, McLaren GT, Mercedes-Benz EQC, BMW X, and Jaguar F-Type. The centerpiece of her car collection is definitely her $1 million Rolls-Royce Dawn. Even though her acting career is far from over, she can take it easy and enjoy the life she's built. God knows we don't need another 9th season finale. How rich would Sofia be if she could sing? Can you only guess, or what? Actually, we have a perfect example coming up next. Miley Cyrus. When she's not twerking on stage, Miley Cyrus is busy making a lot of money. How else can you explain this young superstar's personal fortune of $160 million? It's surprising that this Disney star, who broke out of her shell as an over-the-top artist with a relaxed moral compass, is actually more than just a singer and actress. In fact, young Miley is also a fashion icon and rakes in huge sums from lucrative endorsement deals. However, where she really rakes in the cash is on social media. There, Cyrus is a true goddess. With millions of followers, she knows how to cash in on her fans like no other actress can. But that's not all. Recently, she's really dived into the cryptocurrency market, and some even say she's become a multimillionaire with Bitcoin. For now, however, her fortune is still hovering around 9 figures. Naturally, Miley lives an opulent and lavish lifestyle that could make many people envious. She owns several extravagant homes, including one worth $4.9 million in Nashville and another for $4.5 million in New York. Millions of dollars in Nashville, a $5.8 million mansion in Malibu, but her true passion is designer clothes and jewelry. Her wardrobe and accessories are worth millions. It seems that the young star has managed to make the most of her career, but not quite as well as Jennifer Lawrence. Unlike Sofia Vergara, Jennifer Lawrence shot to stardom with her film career and a few leaked nude photos. Still, the young actress's talent is undeniable. Since 2013, she hasn't stopped being one of the top 5 highest-paid actresses in the world, raking in about $21 million per movie. Despite her young age, she has amassed a fortune valued at $175 million. Considering how The Hunger Games crossed over $6 billion, you might think the actress is a bit underpaid. But honestly, with 4 gorgeous and ultra-luxurious mansions, her salary doesn't keep me up at night. The biggest of her homes is her mansion in Beverly Hills, valued at $8.2 million. If you think that's expensive, don't forget it's a huge house in one of the priciest areas in the world. A much better reason to lose your mind would be the $4 million haute couture Dior dress she wore at the Oscars. That's how you flaunt success, right in everyone else's face. However, Not everyone is impressed with Lawrence's lifestyle. Compared to Charlize Theron, young Jennifer is just a rookie at being rich. Speaking of highly paid actresses, we can't forget about Charlize Theron, the brilliant actress who made me root for the villain in Snow White and the Huntsman, and whose role in Monster is currently worth $180 million. But of course, that's not surprising at all, since the star makes about $18 million per movie. Off the big screen, Charlize is an avid car collector with 15 cars in her garage. Among them, there's a Lincoln Navigator worth $100,000, a Jaguar I-Pace priced at $150,000, a Rolls-Royce Phantom valued at $2 million, and a Bugatti Chiron with a price tag of $2.8 million. The talented actress lives in a magnificent, ultra-luxurious mansion that spans 8,500 square feet in San Francisco, California. Even without considering that we're talking about a Hollywood star's house. The current market value of this magnificent home is $30 million. The cherry on top, though, is the 4 luxurious yachts that Charlize uses to escape from the paparazzi constantly swimming around her house. Charlize is definitely an icon, but fan favorites like Scarlett Johansson will always have a lot more to brag about. Scarlett Johansson. Having a Russian spy in your 105th right now isn't the best way to find a job. However, when you have Natasha Romanoff in your portfolio, that completely changes the game. Scarlett Johansson is definitely one of the most beloved and iconic actresses in Marvel. However, she made a name for herself long before the comic book movie craze. So, naturally, her talent comes with a price, and for movie producers, that price is about $35 million per film. Because of those high fees, ScarJo has built a truly inspiring net worth. Despite her young age, it's currently worth $180 million, which Sammy will have to work at least a few weeks to gather. Of course, the actress doesn't live like a hermit, since she has several multimillion-dollar luxury homes. Her huge Hampton house is worth over $2.2 million, and she spent at least that much to keep the paparazzi away from her at all times. However, her permanent residence is another beautiful 4-bedroom house in New York, valued at $4 million. Naturally, since she spends a lot of her time in Hollywood, she bought an ultra-luxurious mansion for $3.9 million in the Hills, Los Angeles. If you think all the money you've spent has gone into property, don't worry. She also has an impressive car collection. Among her favorite cars is a Mercedes-Benz SLS valued at around $200,000 and an Audi Q worth about $100,000. Scary is one of the most enigmatic actresses in the world, as she values her privacy above all else. So while we get a glimpse into their extraordinary and luxurious life, I can only wonder what luxurious amenities lie hidden beyond what we are allowed to see. Even though today's fan favorites are definitely betting on their careers, they can't even come close to the class of some of the greats of all time, like Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda, the beloved icon of Broadway and Hollywood, is still conquering the big screen, even at 85 years old. One net worth of $210.1 million. One has to wonder why she doesn't enjoy her golden years. Maybe she just loves the spotlight that much. Unlike her body in the late 60s, Barbarella isn't too prone to flaunting her fortune these days. That doesn't mean she lives modestly. God forbid. She still has a fantastic $5 million house in Los Angeles and other multimillion-dollar mansions in Washington, New Mexico, Santa Monica, and Beverly Hills. On top of that, she tends to splurge on extravagant items, like in 2011 when she paid $55,000 for a set of 5 dentures. Although Fonda isn't a big car collector, she does have a vintage 1966 Ferrari 275 GTB valued at around $3 million. That's how I picture myself at 85, living in a $5 million house and driving a $3 million car. But let's not forget that Demi Moore is younger and richer, so maybe she should take a page from her book. Demi Moore is a great example of how a brilliant real estate portfolio can overshadow a successful acting career. But that's not all. as she knew how to take advantage of all her high-profile relationships over the years. In the 80s, the actress got married twice and even planned a third wedding that never happened. She came out of each relationship richer and more famous. For example, her divorce from Bruce Willis in the early 90s netted her over $90 million. 1. With a lucrative real estate portfolio, Demi Moore is worth over $220 million today, as the actress enjoys annual earnings of more than $20 million from various assets. That's nothing compared to the peak of her career in the late 90s, when she was making over $60 million per movie. Today, she owns over $100 million in properties. On top of that, she has a small but super expensive car collection. In her garage, you can find a Mercedes-Benz G-AMG valued at $200,000, a Lamborghini worth $255,000, and a 1967 Ford Mustang valued at over $450,000. However, what she loves most is spending money on dresses. Even though there aren't any jaw-dropping pieces in her collection, her dresses cost between $3,000 and $10,000. It's nice to see that the sex symbols of the 90s can still enjoy their money today. And while Demi Moore has managed to take advantage of her marriages and her real estate portfolio, compared to Julia Roberts, she still has a lot to learn. Julia Roberts, with her captivating smile, was definitely the most sought-after actress in the late 90s and early 2000s. The actress was practically a shoo-in for a role in every rom-com of the time. And honestly, she was brilliant. These movies have a collective box office success of nearly $3 billion, which is simply fascinating for the genre. Naturally, Roberts managed to cash in on her memorable performances, and today she has a comfortable bank account of over $255 million. It's no surprise, since she was the first actress to earn over $20 million for a movie. If that's not impressive, Julia received $3 million plus 3% of the total earnings from the 2010 movie Valentine's Day. That doesn't sound too impressive until you realize she only had one scene in the whole movie, which lasted about 6 minutes. That works out to about $500,000 per minute on screen. However, movies weren't her only source of income. She also landed lucrative sponsorship deals, like the one with Lancome, which paid her $50 million for a 5-year contract. Naturally, Julia Roberts has a truly inspiring real estate portfolio. She owns a $4 million apartment in Manhattan and a $2.5 million ranch in New Mexico. However, her most prized possession is her luxurious 1,200 square meter mansion in San Francisco, valued at around $8.3 million. Now, if you're expecting to see William Roberts in a $1 million car, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but somehow the 90s sex symbol isn't that into spending money on cars. Instead, she has a Toyota Prius that's worth about $25,000. If you're more into actresses with cars, maybe Julia Louis-Dreyfus is more your style. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, ever since Julia Louis-Dreyfus first stepped onto the set of Troll, the world knew it would be a huge hit, and Troll is one of the worst movies of all time. Fortunately, this terrible movie didn't stop her from having an exceptional career and amassing a fortune of $260 million in the process. Compared to her father, who owns a multi-million-dollar business, Julia is still relatively poor. But let's not forget that she earned her wealth with a brilliant performance. One outstanding dedication to his work on Seinfeld Usend by the end of the series was earning more than $1 million per episode. Right now, Julia makes about $20 million a year from acting, endorsement deals, and investments. She lives with her husband, Brad Hall, in a 3,000-square-foot oceanfront beach house in Montecito, California, as well as other properties in Maryland, the Chesapeake Bay and St. Michaels, among others. However, unlike Julia Roberts, this comedy genius is into cars. She has 7 cars, although none of them are expensive or luxurious. However, she owns a Tesla Model S worth about 60,000 euros, a Mercedes E-Class also around 60,000 euros, an Audi, a 3, and a Ferrari 1 BMW. However, her most prized possession is a $125 million Aston Martin DB. used in a James Bond movie. It was given to her by none other than Jerry Seinfeld. Can you believe that Julia Louis-Dreyfus isn't even among the top 5 richest actresses, despite her extraordinary career and her multimillion-dollar fortune? Waiting, believe it or not, to be among the top 10. And the ones coming up next won't be much of a surprise either. Sandra Bullock, the brilliant actress turned producer, has shifted from capitalizing on her beauty to monetizing her artistic vision. That's a sign of a sharp mind, and naturally, Sandra Bullock today has over $280 million. Even though she continues to take on roles on the big screen, she also produces 2 different shows on Netflix and 1 on Hulu. Naturally, this brings her a comfortable annual income of over $25 million. The biggest contributor to this wealth is her deal to star in Gravity. The actress took home $20 million from the start and negotiated another 15% of the box office earnings from Gravity. Currently, her earnings from that movie alone amount to $120 million. Like most actresses, Bullock spends her money on the good things in life. However, she invested a large part of her earnings in lucrative real estate ventures. The actress bought a $2.7 million property in Valley Center, Thousand Oaks, California, and sold it 15 years later for double that price. She did the same with another house in Los Angeles, but this time she tripled her investment. In addition, Sandra owns a dozen properties with a combined value of nearly $100 million in Texas and Beverly Hills. However, her main residence is still in Beverly Hills, where she lives comfortably in an ultra-luxurious mansion worth $16 million, complete with all kinds of amenities. Of course, if there's anything better than having $280 million, it's having Jennifer Aniston's $330 million. Nobody told you life was going to be this way. If they had, Jennifer Aniston probably would have never starred in the awful movie Leprechaun. Honestly, her career was pretty sweet from the start. However, with Friends, she became more than just a household name. Jennifer became a fan favorite. By the end of the series, Aniston was making over $20 million per season, plus additional royalties worth about $10 million a year. So it's no surprise that the star has $330 million in her bank account and is currently earning $1.25 million per episode from the Apple TV show The Morning. Even though she's not the highest paid actress in the world, making only about $8 million per movie, Aniston earns around $30 million a year. A big contributor to her salary comes from lucrative sponsorships with Smartwater, Emirates, Love, and Aveeno, which generate about a third of her annual income. Aniston has a truly spectacular real estate portfolio, as she recently dropped $20.1 million on a mega mansion in Bel Air. But that's not her only house, as she also owns properties in New York worth at least $10 million. Plus, Jennifer loves to splurge on luxury cars. She owns a $91,000 Audi Q8, a $90,000 Range Rover SUV, a $22,000 Toyota Prius, a Porsche 911 Targa worth about $150,000, and her prized possession, a $200,000 Bentley Continental GT. Plus, she loves watches, as she owns a gold Rolex Day-Date valued at $34,000. Yeah, being Jennifer Aniston is great, but being Jessica Alba is definitely better. Jessica Alba doesn't need an introduction. Her $390 million is a testament to her brilliant career and an even brighter mind. The actress makes over $40 million a year, of which only half comes from movie salaries. As a beauty icon, Alba has signed several endorsement deals, but she's also the co-founder of Honest, a company that sells baby, personal, and household products. In recent years, the company has seen a huge boom and currently brings in $70 million a year. Naturally, Alba lives like a queen. Well, like a queen. She spends her free time in a super luxurious $14 million mega mansion in California. How do you get lost in your 8 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms? I have no idea, but she probably always ends up in one of the 2 pools. The brilliant actress turned entrepreneur owns over $19 million in blue chip stocks from companies like IBM, Intel, Visa, Meta, and AT&T. Of course, she enjoys life to the fullest, spending mostly on vacations and accessories. However, she owns 3 super luxury yachts and 3 luxury cars worth about $5 million. 6 not-so-impressive cars. She probably wants to have the prettiest thing in her garage too. How brilliant do you have to be richer than such an inspiring woman like Jessica Alba? Let's find out. Victoria Principal should be a shining example for all the actresses today. Even though she hasn't appeared on screen in a decade, her net worth has doubled, and today the former Hollywood star is worth over $400 million. She spent most of her career on the small screen playing Pamela Barnes Ewing on Dallas. As expected, her career was just the financial boost she needed to start her own business. In the mid-'80s, she launched a natural beauty company that later became a skincare giant called Principal Secret. In the next 30 years, it became her main source of income, although she continued acting until 2012. Recently, the company brought in about $1.5 billion. So in 2019, she sold it for a colossal sum that, unfortunately, remains a secret. On top of all this, the director has a truly impressive real estate portfolio that stretches from the East Coast to the West Coast. She even owns a house in Switzerland, where I guess she swims in chocolate and has cows as pets. Since 2012, she has invested a large part of her money in a ranch just outside of Los Angeles, where she runs an animal rescue center. I guess you remember her days on Dallas. It's clear that Victoria Principal had a sharp mind, a vision, and the talent to earn her wealth. Just imagine what she could have done if she only had blonde hair. Well, there's no need to imagine it. Reese Witherspoon has it all. I mean, if Reese Witherspoon is legally blonde, it doesn't really matter when she has $420 million in her bank account. The actress who stole many hearts over the last 2 decades currently earns more than $35 million for acting in and producing movies and TV shows. Her biggest income source is The Morning Show, where she makes $1.25 million per episode. Reese has a lot to show off, and she doesn't hesitate to flaunt her wealth. Among her high-end acquisitions, we can see a cottage in Malibu valued at around $6.25 million and another house in Nashville worth $3.3 million. One beautiful and ultra-luxurious house in Pacific Palisades, priced at $12.7 million. The actress is also a big fan of high-end jewelry and owns several $1 million worth of accessories like emerald earrings, rings, and bracelets valued at over $1 million. She also owns a Tiffany bracelet and diamond earrings valued at around $500,000. Of course, Reese Witherspoon was a prodigy, but so were Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, and the latter really knew how to make the most of their early success in Hollywood. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen? Who would have thought that the cute twins who played Michelle on Full House would become some of the richest actresses in the world? But here we are, and here they are. They're worth a whopping $550 million each. Their huge success as preteen actresses allowed them to build a thriving fashion empire worth several $1 billion. It's unknown exactly how much, although Fila, their most well-known fashion line, has been valued at $1 billion. The twins have built a truly inspiring real estate portfolio that spans 2 continents. It seems they prefer to stay in New York, as they own an ultra-luxurious 4-bedroom penthouse with several terraces valued at $13.5 million. A 5-story townhouse in Manhattan valued at $7.7 million. As if that weren't enough, they also own an estate in the Hamptons valued at $7.7 million. A condo in Paris with views of the Eiffel Tower valued at $8.7 million. They also own at least 3 ultra-luxury cars, including a vintage Ford Mustang and a Mercedes-Benz Class S valued at $94,000. However, when they travel, they prefer to stay on top of the world. They have a luxurious, private Gulfstream G valued at around $60 million. The twins are known for their affinity for contemporary art. In their collection, there are artworks by Damien Hirst and Jeff Koons valued at several $1 million. In 2007, they bought one of their most expensive artworks, a painting by Richard Prince called 2000, valued at $140,000. Just to be clear, the two sisters are also into fashion. They own jewelry worth several $1,000,000. The centerpiece of their collection is a vintage Cartier watch valued at $81,000. Having $500 million sounds fun, but owning over $3 billion is definitely better. It's tough. Being Janie Gertz. On one hand, she's known as an iconic actor who starred in fan-favorite movies like Lost Boys and Twister, and in shows like Seinfeld and ER. On the other hand, Gertz is better known as a savvy businesswoman and owner of the NBA team Atlanta Hawks. There's a duality in her personality that isn't too hard on her psyche. Right now, Gertz is worth over $3.2 billion. The actress is a well-known shareholder in Uber, Airbnb, and SpaceX, all of which are highly successful companies. Naturally, the actress-turned-businesswoman has an impressive real estate portfolio valued at nearly $1 billion. The most notable properties in her portfolio include a hidden mansion worth $10.6 million, an estate in Malibu for $38 million, another one in Montecito also for $38 million, and of course, a super luxurious mansion in Beverly Hills valued at $85 million. Unfortunately for us, Janie Gertz is a classy lady who rarely flaunts her wealth. Instead, she prefers to spend it mostly on charitable causes, as her donations have exceeded hundreds of millions of dollars over the years. That's what I call making the most of your screen time. Still, Gertz isn't the richest actress in history. This honor belongs to the late, great Dina Merrill. Dina Merrill was a true legend in the film industry, not only as a great actress who dominated Hollywood in the 50s and 60s, but she later became one of the first successful actresses to transition into the business world. Unfortunately, Dina passed away in 2017, and at the time of her death, she had a fortune of over $5 billion. Over the years, Merrill served as more than just eye candy on the big screen. Instead, she chose to become one of the most successful businesswomen in the U.S. Since she was a member of several boards of directors for high-profile companies, including billionaire conglomerates like the Lehman Brothers, Gillette, and Quaker Oats. Naturally, Dina lived large, just as much as a woman was allowed to in those patriarchal times. She owned several extremely expensive and ultra-luxurious properties, like her East Hampton estate valued at $48 million. She also had a $16 million apartment in Manhattan, a luxurious $10 million mansion in Beverly Hills, but the cherry on top was her dream beachfront resort, worth around $200 million. Merrill truly enjoyed the finer things in life, as she owned a treasure trove of jewelry worth tens of millions. Her most famous piece was a diamond necklace that was once owned by the Duchess of Windsor. This one accessory alone was worth over $4 million. Yeah, Dina Merrill was really the epitome of a successful vacation.